Hi, everyone. I'm Rob from Alternate Ending.
And I'm Kerry.
And you're joining us for Behind the Scenes at Sundance 2020, where we're going to be recapping our top 3 experiences that happened at Sundance, along with everything in between.
So there's a lot to cover.
There is a lot to cover.
How long were we there?
We were there for, I believe, 5 nights?
5 nights, okay. So we already kind of did a little bit of a video on the path there, which was a little bit tumultuous. Once we got there, I think things were pretty smooth.
Sure, if you want to call smooth, basically living with very high intensity anxiety for 5 straight nights.
You had that too?
Yes, I did.
So I just felt constant nerves, constant set of nerves. Who are we going to have to talk to? Are we going to flub the whole thing? What are we going to say? What if they hate us? What if we don't know how to do our audio? Like the whole thing felt like one giant panic attack.
So Sundance is actually very accessible. I know that we got in on press passes, and I probably wouldn't have taken the chance to go without it because we thought that it was very expensive to go. But when you add up the cost of the flight to Utah, the transportation to Park City, our very inexpensive Airbnb that we were all crammed in, you can do it on the cheap.
I think you might have butt lice, probably from our Airbnb that we were at.
Small price to pay, butt
Seriously.
lice for the Sundance experience.
I totally agree. So that was worth it. Definitely stay at some place a little bit off of the main drag.
Well, see, we thought we were staying off the beaten path, and we ended up across the street from Sundance headquarters, probably about a half-mile walk to the main street. But honestly, if you have the chance and you book in advance, if you're looking to get out to Park City for Sundance, hobnob with the celebrities and run into them on the street, you can do that. It's very accessible. You could just park yourself with a cup of coffee right on Main Street and have people walking right by you. If you want to see movies, that's when things get a little bit more on the pricey side. But at $25 a ticket to e-waitlist to see premieres months in advance when these movies would normally be premiering, I think it's a good deal for any movie lover. So if you've thought about going to Sundance before and weren't sure if you could afford it, I think it is definitely something that is possible for everyone.
So most important thing that we can probably cover here too are what were some of the things that we thought were the most awesome about it. And it might not be the most typical things that you might think of. So I'll lead in with one of the things that I think we thought was great. And that was the food.
The food was pretty top-notch. I don't think we had a bad meal there.
No.
I know you had some stomach issues after our first meal.
I still can't tell if that was nerves.
I think it was just nerves because we ate at, was it the Lobster House? Freshie Lobster House. So apparently this little, it's not a dive.
It's not a dive.
It's not a dive at all.
It's very modern.
They fly in fresh lobster from Maine. In fact, when they competed for the best lobster roll in the U.S., they beat out all of the places in Portland, Maine for the title. So definitely a place to stop and visit for tremendous lobster roll.
Totally good.
The alcohol rules there are a little strange. Like they wouldn't serve us early, and then like all the alcohol percentages are a little lower than.
Are they?
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that. Like they have stickers on them.
I never check that stuff. I just go. But that's interesting. That's an interesting fact. I'll think into that. I think the other thing was we went to the grocery store. There was no wine, which was a little bit problematic for me, but it's probably like to the benefit of the public for some reason. I have no idea why.
Yeah, that would be the Mormon laws that are in effect in Utah.
Oh, is it?
That's right. Yeah,
they
have very strict. No, very strict rules around alcohol consumption, particular days and blue laws.
Okay.
Sunday blue laws and whatnot. But the fact that they didn't have wine in a liquor or in a grocery store, a little bit strange.
Yeah, I can never live there. What else? What did you think what else was great?
No Name Saloon, I thought was fantastic. If we're sticking with food, great burger, bison burger I had there. And we huddled up on a nice little cozy fireplace.
It was actually the waiting area, and then we just ended up eating there because we were so hungry, so we kept it classy while we were there as well. And the last one was, I always like to go on the cheap for breakfast because no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't at all. And it's really bothersome to me because how I feel is I know how expensive eggs are and bread. So I want to always go on the cheap. You found a place called
5 Seeds?
5 Seeds. And
went there twice.
We did go there twice. And we went in, I wouldn't say it was like so expensive where I was like taking doggy bags and trying to get as much coffee in as I could to try and balance the cost. But super, super, super tasty and walkable from where we were. Like Rob said, 5 Seeds. I would recommend if you go there, checking that out as well.
Also, might have some celebrity sightings when you go there. I know we bumped into Kyle Marvin from The Climb.
The Climb. We saw him there. I didn't know it till after, but I was like, I would recognize that beard anywhere.
So next up, as far as our top things from Sundance, number 2 for us would have to be the celebrity sightings and encounters. No?
I mean, I don't know.
So the funny part about this is I was stuck doing a lot of the work the first day, so I missed out on quite a few. So my first celebrity encounter happened to be James Van Der Beek. So that was a highlight for me too. We were running a little bit late to Bad Hair. And on our way out, as we got kicked out because we were too late for the press line, kind of passing me and getting a smell of his musk as he walked by me was James Van Der Beek.
He had like a maybe like an Old Spice.
That's musky
Maybe
smell.
it was
That's
musk.
a
It was
musky
musk,
smell.
yeah. But his hair was perfectly coiffed. He was wearing a long herringbone trench coat, very stately. And I noticed that his scarf was tied in such a way that you do, and I usually make fun of you for it, but for him it worked.
The loop through.
And it worked for him. So very big, very impending, I would say. I was surprised about that, but breezed in for the movie, and we were both shocked. Some of the other celebrity sightings that I was very caught off guard by, breezed past Kerry Washington. And that was one of those where usually a lot of the bigger stars had crowds. So like Will Ferrell was there and Julia Louis-Dreyfus was there. You have people huddled all around them, but Kerry Washington just came right at me. I mean, I think she grazed my arm.
Yeah.
And nobody was around. I don't think anyone noticed.
I didn't even bother going for the big crowded ones, but we were actually at an LLB getting ready for an interview, and we had kind of like a bird's eye view. So we had a chance to kind of peer at, Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. We did step out though to see Nat Faxon, who directed the movie that they're in, The Downhill, which comes out in February.
Yeah, I snapped all these pictures from afar, minus the Daveed Diggs incident. Yeah, I think we saw a few other people.
We had a chance to sit down with Rebecca Hall from her movie The Night House, along with writer-director David Bruckner, along with 2 other members of the cast, Stacy and Evan. Don't have video of that. That was an audio only, so we'll be sure to check out our podcast on that. We're going to play the whole interview from that. It was a little bit awkward because we didn't have a chance to see the movie in advance going into the interview.
We couldn't have, though, so they knew we hadn't seen it, which was kind of maybe made it better.
I think they thought that we had.
Maybe they did.
Yeah.
The worst part about that one for me was I wasn't actually intending to ask any questions, but since there was an extra seat, they were like, oh, why don't you sit down? So then I don't do well on the fly. So I was like, oh, shoot, I got to think about something.
Can't improv. No.
I didn't even know these people's names. Because I blank when I'm nervous. So I was like, is it Jeanette? And it was terrible. So I was trying to look at my phone. It was very bad. But I think I came up with an okay question.
I think you did far better than maybe some of our peers there as well.
It's just because you're married to me, you have to say that. So we saw them. They were awesome.
So how about, can we agree on the biggest celebrity sighting highlight?
I know mine.
Should we do it in 3, 2, 1? Toni Collette. Yeah.
That one was too much.
It was too much. It was our first press line opportunity because we missed out on Bad Hair to be in the press line. We actually don't really know what a press line is, to be honest.
No, we didn't know.
They kept calling it red carpet, press line, but it's basically when they have those big billboards behind them, celebrities do, and you take that flash photography. Yeah. So we got to her movie, the Dream Horse.
Yeah.
That's coming out pretty
We're
soon.
literally standing there next to People Magazine and like
Vulture,
Vulture, and somehow Rob gets planted like in the prime location. So you have all these like people with actual camera setups.
We have a real camera setup.
So here's what happens. We don't know how to use it. So we're sitting there and Rob's trying to figure out, it's set on like a timer that we can't get off. So literally we're asking people next to us, even though we're in this prime seat, like how to operate our camera, which was kind of embarrassing more for you than it was for me. But we didn't expect what was going to happen next.
Yeah, the people to the left of us were doing photography and the people to the right of us were doing video, and we were there with both setups. And I hadn't really intended to do photography, but in walks Toni Collette, and she's doing her posing, turning, step and repeat.
Part.
What's that?
She's just stunning.
Oh, very stunning, right out of the gate.
Out of the gate.
When she has a presence that she comes with that as she enters the room, it kind of time stops.
Yeah.
But so down the line, the photographers are, Toni, this way. Toni, this way.
And then Rob.
Then it comes to me. Toni, this way.
No, you didn't. You didn't do it like that. You were like this. You were like alternating this way. And I was just like,
Try to be very.
And she
sounded very
looked, it
professional.
sounded
She
very
did.
much like
Yeah.
that. I was just like, oh my gosh, I have such imposter syndrome happening right now. Like, what are we doing
And we
here?
thought that was going to be it. And then all of a sudden, a lady comes up to us and is like looking down at our names,
Yeah.
alternate ending, and she's like going down the line, memorizing them, and steps away. I realized in that moment that it was Toni Collette's publicist because she goes and taps Toni on the shoulder, and then the publicist comes back to us and says, "You're going to have 1 minute with Toni."
And we're like,
Or one question.
One question.
You're going to have one question with Toni.
Yeah. And I was like, Rob's like, I can do it, or you can do it. And I was like, you have to do it, because right now I've gone completely blank. Like, I don't even know what I couldn't tell you my own name at that point, for sure. So she comes up, she approaches us, and she is super congenial. We both thought that she called us cute.
Well, why
Mutually.
don't you tell us? We have a clip for you.
Great, okay.
Congratulations on the film.
Thank you so
We're so
much.
excited to see it tonight. Question for you.
Are you going to hop in and watch it? I
Oh,
love that.
absolutely.
Oh, great.
We're already
crying.
Yeah.
It's about a horse.
Yeah. Horse, hope, inspirational. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Did you hear about the story before reading the script?
No.
Were you familiar with the story?
I didn't know anything about it. It was a huge story in Wales, obviously, and then I didn't know anything about it until the script landed in my computer. And I just, man, I love it so much. Only recently can I talk about it without crying. I just find it so incredibly moving. And it's inspirational and empowering. It has a huge heart. So I'm excited to see it tonight too.
We're excited.
Well,
to
thank
see
you.
it.
We're excited
Enjoy.
to share it. Thank you. So I don't think she called us cute. For whatever reason, we both recollected that.
I find us cute.
I find
I'm
us,
sure
I
she
guess,
thought we were.
maybe
She didn't say it. She meant
was
it in the
thinking
way
it,
that she said it.
But she said we were a team, a good team, a great team. And
she sat right down, right in front of us, literally one chair to the front, and we got to enjoy the movie with her.
It was
Dream Horse.
pretty epic, Dream Horse. And the last thing that we should probably cover is the thing that you might expect. I think the movie experience there was fantastic. Granted, you're definitely sitting in these sort of uncomfortable chairs. A lot of times you're in sort of theater stadium seating, so it's not like what we have at home where it's like something I can fall asleep in a recliner with a massage in the back.
Maybe that's for the best because
I
I,
think so,
tend to
too.
get really sleepy during a lot of movies.
I didn't fall asleep in any of these. So yeah, I think that experience of seeing it amongst people who are so passionate and excited about their movies. And again, if you're sitting behind Toni Collette and Ethan Hawke, you're like, well, this isn't the worst day I've ever had. So for me, I think that movie experience that was so different from anything I've ever had before was something that was the most memorable and probably one of the most exciting parts about it.
But we had a good time, and we hope we get a chance to go there next year as well, too. If you enjoyed this video or videos like it, we have plenty to offer. Feel free to click the subscribe button on the bottom or just stick around, and you'll probably get looped around to another video. Catch you next time.